Hey, what's up, guys? I put out a video here a while back about some tying some knots, Prusik cords and stuff like that, and also a little DIY Prusik tender. Called it the poor man's tender because most everybody's got it laying around their house, or has access to it very cheaply. And I got a comment, and I did not do a demonstration on how it worked. I just showed how to tie the knots and how to make the tender, and the person that commented was having some trouble with theirs. I don't know if it was if they had the exact same tender that I had, or if it's one that they had previously, but they asked me, or said that they wished that I would have shown it working. So I thought I'd do a part 2 to that video and show y'all how it works, how easy it works, and give y'all a few tips on the on this stuff. I'm not an expert at it. I'm not an instructor. I don't do it for a living. I do it for hunting and a hobby, and just around the house, just DIY stuff for myself. So show you, this is the tender, and everything that I showed in that video. This was the Prusik cords that I tied. Showed how to tie these knots, and I showed how to make this little Prusik tender out of a key ring. And but that's it, and I'll show you how it works. Now, I typically would not, probably wouldn't put my tether this high up in the tree when I'm hunting. Generally, I'm gonna have it down in here, but I wanted to have enough room to show you guys how this thing works. It works good. This person said that they were having a problem when they actually sat into the Prusik and it cinched down. They were still having to use both hands to loosen it up. You shouldn't have that problem with this little tender. It works really good. I will say that depending on the type of rope and Prusik cord and stuff that you're using, you may have issues. Your Prusik cord needs to be compatible with your rope. That's bottom line. I know some ropes, thicker, bigger ropes, are softer, and if your Prusik cord is too small, it will bind into that rope really hard and make it hard to get loose. So I recommend, I never go more than 2 sizes, typically smaller than my rope on my Prusik cord. So if I'm using a 8mm tether rope, I'm only going to go about 6mm at the smallest on my Prusik cord. I don't want it the same size as my rope, but I don't want it too much smaller, because then you get too much, you could possibly get too much bind and bite in your Prusik cord and be hard to get loose. If you use 11mm, I wouldn't go probably a 9, 8 at the most, typically about 9. 10mm rope, I'd go no more than 8mm cord, or no less than 8mm cord, and so on down the line. Whatever your size of your rope is, 8mm, 10mm, 11mm, whatever, no more than 2 sizes smaller on your Prusik cord. That's my rule of thumb. Seems to work out perfectly. Also, there's so many different kinds of ropes out there, and Prusik and cord material. They're not all compatible with all the others. So just make sure that everything you're buying or whatever is compatible and does work together well. If you buy it pre-made, you know that it's going to. Just research it before you buy it. I buy a lot of my stuff here at either Alabama Outdoors or at REI. I do order a few things offline from like Out on a Limb or not Out on a Limb, Tethered, Out on a Limb, some other places I've ordered stuff before from. Eastern Woods, I get a lot of stuff from them. I get probably more from them than anybody. The Prusik cord came from Eastern Woods, which is the Sterling 6mm, and the op blocks came from Eastern Woods, I believe, and it's 8mm. And then the little Prusik tender is just paracord and a key ring. That's it. And then I've got a carabiner that I got from Alabama Outdoors. But anyways, I'll just show you. When I sat down into this, I've got all my weight in it. I'll even pick my feet up here. You can see my whole body's in this. All my weight's in this Prusik. It's not slipping, it holds good, it does what it's supposed to do. Take a little weight off of it. It works every time. All my weight's in it. Now, if you have any weight on this at all, it's not gonna, if there's any tension on this right here, this Prusik is not gonna slide. It's just not going to. You're gonna have to take your weight off of it. I mean, you might have a little bit of tension on it, it's still gonna work. But for the most part, you're gonna have to get your weight off. And I'll tell you something else. Play around with your different friction hitches, your different Prusiks and stuff. There's so many different kinds, different friction knots that you can tie. There's tons of them, and depending on your rope that you're using, a different type or a different style Prusik knot or friction hitch, friction knot, whatever you want to call it, may suit your rope better. Learn how to tie them all. If you're going to do this on your own and you're going to buy the material and do it yourself, you need to learn how to tie all those friction hitches. I don't know them all. I've learned to tie a few. You got your standard Prusik. See, I've even forgot what this one's called, but anyways, learn how to tie all those. That way, or at least learn it, Google it, look it up online, and you can watch instructional videos on how to tie all these different friction knots, and find the one that works best for the rope you have and the cord you have. Which one holds the best, which one releases the best, or what have you. But it's a very simple, very easy tender to make. I hope this helps. I mean, I've got all my weight in it, 170 pounds of weight on this Prusik or friction hitch. It's not a Prusik. That's all my weight, and it holds me fine. I take my weight off, and my tender works perfectly. It just, like I said, you're gonna have to experiment with a different type of knots and friction hitches, and the rope you have, and just see which one works the best. And make sure that your cord, your friction hitch cord, your Prusik cord, is compatible and works well with your tether rope or lineman's rope or whatever you're going to use this on. Make sure that they work good together, they're compatible. My rule of thumb is no more than 2 sizes smaller on the Prusik cord than the rope that you're putting it on. So if I put a 5mm on this, it might work, it might not, but the 6mm works great. So there's 170 pounds, got some bounce in it, so I'm cinching it down really good. And then when I stand up, it pops right back up. It works flawlessly. So I hope that helps y'all. Maybe I gave you some tips that helps you out. Again, guys, if you got any questions or comments, leave them. If you got anything you want me to do a video on, leave them. Please remember to like and subscribe. And thanks again. And season starts. I got one more day. Tomorrow's Wednesday, it's my last day of work. Then I'm off for 4 days. Season opens Thursday, so not tomorrow, but the next day we'll be in the woods. Hopefully we'll be punching a tag on one of those big guys I got on video. So y'all stay tuned. We'll get some action going. And like I said, comments, questions, ideas, anything like that, remember to like and subscribe. Y'all have a good night. God bless y'all, and I hope this is the best season you've ever had.